people should know how good you are. And they should know what you went through these past couple of months and how difficult it was, right? Because compared to garbage truck driver, which my dad was, right, or a bricklayer, which my grandpa was, accountants are the hardest white collar workers that I have ever seen or been around.
And Juan, you know, with the clients that you're working with,
I don't have any clients that are so-so, or that even I feel they don't know what they're talking about, or I've even declined clients because of their reviews online, right? So yeah.
We're gonna be able to cut this and put it on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna count us down, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll go.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, 3, 2, 1. JJ the CPA here with Juan Garcia and Jose of ZTX Advisors. JMac, Justin McAuliffe, will be joining us hopefully, but here is the deal. This is a worldwide announcement from the four of us of a group we've put together called Jx4. What is that? It's JJ, Jose, Juan, and Justin. The four of us in the direction that we're coming in helping the accounting and CPA community is unmatched like anything you've ever come across. And so what we're doing today is we're celebrating the end of tax season. We're going to get together and maybe chat about what happened this last tax season. And then before we wrap up, we want to share with you some things that we plan to be doing in the coming months that you will want to be a part of. So, hey, listen, Jose, Juan, you guys have your own podcast. I got to start, but I don't even want to say welcome because this is our show, right?
This is our show.
But, welcome to our first show here. So I know that we've got some cigars. By kicking it off, maybe next year one of you guys will do it. I'm sure you will. But I sent everybody a cigar and of our four. And so one of the ways that we wanted to celebrate is to light up a cigar. But before we do that, Juan, Jose, jump in.
Yeah, I mean, you go first, Jose. You're the one filing more taxes than me over here.
All right. So yeah, what can I say? You know, tax season was hectic. The new tax law was crazy. I mean, you know, there are a lot of changes, a lot of different moving parts, different things to keep track of. But you know, the most important part was things got done. We took care of our clients. We saved them money. And this group right here that you see, we don't all live in the same area. We met all on social media, realized the potential we had, realized we each had a specific skill set that we could bring together to provide value to everyone out there. Small business owners, you know, potential CPAs, EAs, accountants, you name it. And that's what this is about. We wanted to get together. We wanted to powwow about tax season, talk about that, and essentially give you guys a look into what is Jx4. Because I know I've been talking about it. We all know JMac, when he gets here, has been talking about it. JJ, the CPA, has been talking about it. And so is Juan. So that's what we're about. That's what we're talking about. Juan, man, you got the floor, my friend.
Yeah, man. So this tax season, I filed one tax return. I did.
A huge client, Juan.
And their tax return was very complex.
I know it was.
So one thing's funny on LinkedIn this tax season, I had a bunch of accountants asking me if I needed my taxes done, right? And I couldn't give them work if they're not my clients. And for anyone who doesn't know who I am, all I do is market accountants and CPAs now. So the better question that I got this tax season from just, random people and random business owners, they saw what I was doing and they were like, well, do you know any accountants that can do my taxes, right? Do you know any accountants that can do my taxes? I was like, oh my God, I know plenty of accountants. Now it just, it matters what you're doing for business, right? It matters what you're making per year if you want to see an accountant. And real quick before I go on any further with just what I thought about this tax season, I mean, there's such a massive opportunity for accountants to stand out, right? Just stand out in business. Other business owners, I think, especially new business owners that are just now becoming multimillionaires and finding success in their business, they don't know much about accountants other than what was fed through them through media. And maybe there was some office jokes where like, oh, so-and-so from accounting, right? They're the boring person. But look at JJ here. Look at Jose. When JMac comes on, look at him. I mean, there's such an education factor for a lot of new businesses that did get that messaging early on of the accounting stereotype, right? And just being around the accounting industry for the past, like, you know, I've been around the industry for more than 5 years. I'll have to get my line down. I don't know if it's 8 years or what. But, you know, people might have thought because I'm a marketer and I'm on LinkedIn posting things, right, selling my services to accountants, they might think, oh, well, he doesn't know what's going on during busy season or tax season, right? Well, while I didn't do tax, I was auditing 80 plus hours in PricewaterhouseCoopers. And so I 100% understand the camaraderie of a team getting together in the office, looking at the paperwork, looking at Excel, looking at the numbers, going to the client with questions, handling different things that we need to get in by the deadline at the last minute. And that's my favorite part about tax season, just the camaraderie and getting that last workload, that last rush of the jobs done, right? And so I'm no stranger to working a lot, so I definitely feel for the accountants that have worked a lot this tax season, right? I have a lot of empathy, and because I work a lot and always will, I don't have a lot of sympathy, but I do have empathy, and I think everyone should congratulate themselves for another, you know, tax season well done, right? And I just want everyone to know that I definitely have that 415 respect, and everyone out there should, if you're an accountant and you even know about tax, people should know how good you are. And they should know what you went through these past couple of months and how difficult it was, right? Because compared to garbage truck driver, which my dad was, right, or a bricklayer, which my grandpa was, accountants are the hardest white collar workers that I have ever seen or been around. So I'm going to end with that, just dropping some truth there. But no, JJ, the CPA, would love to pass the mic to you, sir.
Well, you know, with everything you said, all the different CPAs that have said, hey, you know, well, Juan, you know, who's doing your taxes? Can I do your tax return? I just want you to say, I'm honored that you let me do your tax return out of the thousands of CPAs that you hired. I didn't do your return, but I couldn't wait. Hey, you know what we need to do is we need to light up. And you know what? I appreciate what you're saying, Juan. And on behalf of all the CPAs, maybe that are still even cranking out the office, bless their hearts, we are hardworking. And I think part of the CPA, the accountant, the EA industry is that there is part of our character, a need to want to take care of people. And I know that in our industry as accountants, CPAs and the EAs, some of us have maybe a different way of going about that. John Garrett is a CPA who's now a full-time comedian and has a podcast called The Recovering, I think it's called The Recovering CPA. Is that right, Amanda?
He's a funny guy, yeah.
But he has a direction of doing what we're doing right here, which is to show that accountants, EAs, CPAs, all of us are in the industry, whether you're practicing public or doing auditing or in some other industry, we all have, though, a very different kind of intellect that allows us to do what we do and care, but we all express that differently. But the one thing we all have in common here is cigars, right? The international language. Whoops, I'm holding up the wrong cigar. The international language of cigars. So the four of us And JMac's with us, Justin McAuliffe in spirit, in the sense that he must be taking care of his family. But bottom line is that we are all going to share in a Monte Cristo classic series. Just real quick, one of these days, though, someone's going to pay us each like $100 grand, right, to smoke a specific cigar on our April 15th celebration. Maybe next year, but sometime soon. You like that?
Yeah.
All right, so are we going to light up? What are we doing? Jose, or what are we doing? We lighting up?
Let's light it up.
Let's light it up. All right. Now, here's the thing. What's interesting, you all know how to do this, but now I will point out I have a JA, the CPA lighter, which behind the scenes, if you don't know, behind the scenes of JJ the CPA is Amanda, and she got that for me because she said, you know, if you're going to be lighting up cigars, and especially with Jx4, what the hell? Anyways, you gotta have a lighter. So, anyways, but for those of you that are going to light up with us, if you've not lit up before, you cut the tip. Yesterday, Jose did a little lesson. You cut the tip, okay? Got yourself a nice round, right? Or nice smooth spot there. And what you want to do is you want to warm this. At least that's how I've learned. You want to warm it so that when you actually put it in your mouth, you're able to do it smoother. So when I'm warming it right here like this, then it's allowing me to get a smooth burn. Is this how you do it, Jose?
Yep. Light it up a little bit. So for those of you guys that are watching us live on everywhere else,
let's see.
Start with the tax season. For you guys on Facebook, this is how we do it. You light it up a little bit, get it going, get that kind of nice crisp, and then
you're bringing it in because, you know, we're probably going to be huge like in India and in Japan and down in Australia, and they may not know how to do this. So we're trying to give some lessons. They probably know how to do this in the UK, maybe in Sweden. I don't know. Canada, maybe. So anyways, then we kind of puff it, but then to get it really going,
so it's a little bit too windy to use the matches.
Yeah, I know. We all had some matches here. But gentlemen, hey, thanks for a great tax season. Thanks for being friends, and we haven't even met yet, and supporting one another and doing it selfishly and having fun in a non-competitive way. And so I'm honored to be a part of, what's it called? I'm just kidding. Jx4.
Yeah, no, 100.
Thank you, JJ.
Yeah, thank you so much, 100%. I mean, you know, that's something I've been talking about a lot. It's collaboration.
Yes.
You know, collaboration, not competition.
Yes.
Right. When you compete, you end up competing on price. Let's be real. You know, and who suffers at the end of that? The client does. And we're in this industry is to serve our clients. We're in the client service industry. We're in the professional services industry. You know, it's all about the client, their experience. We want to give them the best experience. So instead of trying to compete and argue and you know, undercut someone else, collaborate.
Yeah.
Collaborate.
That's the right move.
They grow, they eat, you eat, the client is happy, everybody's happy, everybody wins. You know, and this is something that's very evident here in this group. This is something we do. We collaborate heavily.
Well, I will have to say this.
Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is.
First collaborator. Oh, my gosh. Is he coming?
Yep.
Is he here?
Dude,
are you letting him on?
Final member.
All right. Hey, it all went to hell. It's all going to hell now.
JMac unlocked.
He's on mute. Justin, you're on mute, my friend. Are you muting him, Jose? You know, he doesn't, he's so, there he is. Hi, what's up, brother?
What's up, guys? I haven't even opened this yet.
Oh, you can show
Where the
them
hell
the
have you
package.
been? What have you been doing?
Doesn't matter.
Go.
Man, that's gangster.
Zavala.
That's awesome.
Zavala.
Mafioso.
Well, hey, so let's do this. Let's start with Juan. Tell us one little war story that happened here in the last 90 days where you were involved with a firm that you either saved them from a problem that was related to tax season, or maybe they said something that they shouldn't and they got a whammy, or better yet, they hired you and they brought in 100 new clients. Give us a war story, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll start off by saying all the firms with clients already, they were ready to go. So they were really happy filling up, capacity, because they grew capacity, having to build teams to bring on the capacity, right? But some of the younger guys also come to me, right, just starting firms. And I had this one particular CPA that was a bit unsatisfied with the amount of returns he was filling out last year, getting done, as well as the price he was charging for them. And he said, I even have my CPA. Like last year was my first year. I feel like I can do better this year and charge more, because if I don't, then I just don't see the value in getting my CPA, right? And I was like, no. I was like, you did a good thing. You got your CPA, right? So that means when you market, and Jose, I know you're an enrolled agent, right? And you're getting that CPA, but when you market, people are just gonna trust you more, right? And so we're able to help him have a much better tax season than last year, increase his price to reasonable prices where he was happy and can actually.
So he was undercharging himself, Juan. He was
Right.
undervalued.
He was undervaluing himself, which I don't really fight against in the first year, right? But this was going to be his second tax season. And he was also thinking about, hey, man, maybe, this is not going to be enough money. And I was, we basically got to a place where it was, right? So he can continue his entrepreneurial journey. And that's something that I'm really, proud about, right?
Yeah, awesome.
There's other war stories, but getting some of these entrepreneurs to realize their own value, I think, has been one of the most rewarding parts of being a CPA accounting marketer. So there you go.
I love it. Well, congrats on doing that, because you're doing good stuff there.
Appreciate
Hey, JMac, I'm requesting to go on you. Let me on your Instagram. I see your sexy knee.
All right, I do want to make something clear, though. Not an enrolled agent. So
Yeah.
I'm not.
There you go.
So,
My bad.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Not a CPA yet. That's on the agenda this year. By the way, call to action for all you guys that are trying to do it. Let's do it this year. This is the year to do it. Let's get it done. Jaeger
No.
Where you
Not
at?
let's get it done. None of this shit talk, okay? None of this shit
Yeah.
talk, all right? None of this. Do it. Just do it. Tomorrow, Jose's going to chill. You're going to enjoy these next few days. Monday, study time.
Boom.
You
In the
are
book.
going to be miserable for 5 months.
Yep.
And then your turn. What are you laughing at? You're going to do it next. So he literally added, I swear to God, I'll show it to you.
Oh, my gosh.
He literally added $50,000 of
Plus SC tax.
self-employment profit, not just even, 50,000 even of self-employment profit.
Oh, my God.
Back over $20,000 between the federal and state returns.
And I love that.
I just shared a story on it. Like, $20,000.
Yeah. Well, part of that is having somebody like us, I think, that love what we do.
100%.
And then it makes us interested. And one, with the clients that you're working with, I mean, do you find that that's kind of a common trait with the clients, that they love what they do, and that's kind of what has to come through on the social media?
Yeah. So I don't have any clients that are so-so, or that even I feel they don't know what they're talking about, or I've even declined clients because of their reviews online, right? So yeah, it's extremely important that they love what they do. But like back to even what JMac was saying, like I've seen so many of my clients this year kind of see the same things, right? Oh, you know, amending returns, we found so much money, right? So I can only imagine for all the regular, you know, I'm not doing complex taxes over here. I only have to do my taxes easy. But for all the people out there listening, right? If you're just putting income like into TurboTax and don't know what you're doing, you could be hurting yourself pretty badly, right? So what JMac just described, it nearly happened to every single one of my client, right? So then that's more marketing material. Oh, but we found like an extra 20,000, an extra 50,000, right? An extra 97,000 that they should have got, right? So my question to you guys is, how much of that do you see? Because I feel like just I'm gonna call them regular people, the people that don't do tax returns right now, the civilians,
tax civilians.
Yeah, the civilians kind of think that taxes should be a straightforward thing, and that if you just go with any CPA, they'll get all the things done for you. And like handling some of the best CPAs and some of the best accountants, I can see that's not true, right?
Well, Ron, how many EAs are you working with? Because I will tell you this. I was talking to you guys earlier about the gentleman that was with me, and I told him, I said, you know, if you don't want to get the CPA, and I shouldn't say don't want to because he wanted to, but if you don't have the time, if you get your EA in some ways, I mean, to be an EA, the exam is only about the tax return. It's only, or I shouldn't say, it's only about the IRS, and it's about taxes, and it's about regs, and you can then represent your client before the IRS, similar to a CPA. And so I've never badmouthed the EA profession, for lack of a better word. I never badmouth anybody that's trying to do taxes, especially to trying to be, you know, good at it. Because just like with what JMac saw, I mean, that was a CPA that did that return, JMac?
And I've seen bad, and the fact that he was a CPA, yeah, he was a CPA.
So just because you hire a CPA doesn't mean that they're good. You might find an EA. But the other thing is, I think that by being passionate about anything you do, right, whether you're a plumber or chef or an accountant or a CPA or helping people with taxes or whatever, that's what's going to come through. And so, you know, Juan, I think as you're helping CPAs, accountants, EAs get on, how much are you finding that the EAs are wanting to get out there as well? Are they as much as the CPAs?
So I have more CPAs as clients right now, but what I'll say about the EAs is that they are freaking hustlers, right? Because they're trying to, most of the EAs that I bring on, they're not into getting their CPA yet. So they've got to get some cash flow. They're just trying to get some sales and taxes done, right? And that's what I see from most EAs, is that they're really good at marketing just because they need something to eat this year, right? They've got to get those taxes done. But then on the flip side, I have a few EAs that are just doing really well. They're building like monstrous firms. And then since they're so busy and like actually building a high income business, they're bringing CPAs on as partners versus spending the time to get their CPA. So that's the two sides of the EAs that I'm seeing. The ones that are starting out, really hustlers, got to sell, got to market good. And then the ones that just, you know, they're not really concerned about getting the CPA. They have a partner that's a CPA and they're doing a lot of business.
Gotcha.
So,
gotcha. Yeah. You need to become a CPA. I don't think I got to talk you into anything further than that, Jose.
No, there's no question about it. And a couple of things, like one of my coolest things about the CPA is not the little letters after your last name. You get to be a PC. I think that's mad cool. Like, I like the professional.
Right. Or PLLC.
Well,
oh, sure, right. Either one.
I will tell you guys this. So something I've learned, and which has really got me that push that I like, okay, I need to do it, is, you know, I do have to find myself sometimes. Some people, you know, I have the knowledge. They're cool with it. Some people are just, I actually have to sell myself extra after that. You know, and that's where it gets a little bit kind of tricky because it's like, okay,
I love it.
oh, you're not a CPA? Okay, yeah, but let me tell you about my experience. Then, you go into the whole sales pitch, and then it's just like, half the time I get them, half the time I don't.
Right.
And a lot of times, a lot of clients that have passed up on me is because I don't have that certificate.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it
only matters when you don't have it.
That's what, like, my EAs, right, or accountants that are not CPAs, they have to do so much marketing and so much selling on the back end. Like, just think about the unattractive guy trying to talk to a beautiful girl, right? He has to do he has to do so much extra that you're not looking at his face. Like, that's what it has to be like. He has to do, you're good.
I'm good looking.
You're good
I know
looking,
you might talk about me.
But check this out. Having the CPA, marketing wise, it's like being good looking plus having the best pickup line. Then you get to tell them how you're going to help them, and that, like, everything works out. Okay. Not having it, like, that's starting off on a bad foot, but then, like, marketing can fix that. Like, communication can fix that. But yeah, the CPA, like, it goes right into what JJ, the CPA, was saying, is people just say, okay, they understand very quickly, right? Like, oh, best pickup line. Okay, I'll talk to you, see what you're about, right? So yeah, man, I understand what you're saying, Jose.
Well, and I will tell you this, JMac, that, there'll come a time when someone's going to hire you because you're a CPA. They're going to assume that you're good over a bigger firm. And I've seen that as well.
It already happened. What do you mean the day is coming? It already came. It came and went, and I've gotten referral business from that. So
doing some kind of expansion to their business. Juan, let me ask you this, Juan.
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with CPA firms or accountants and they're getting out on their own, how soon should they be getting on social media? It's probably a dumb softball question, but more
now, right now, today.
When do you think they are actually seeing the light? Meaning, I know we would say all right now, but when you're dealing with somebody, are you catching them fresh out, like with what JMac's saying? Are you catching them in their first year? Or have they been already struggling for several years before they decide social media might be a way to expand their services and their reputation?
Okay, so I'll say this. Like, a lot of them that are in their first year that just started out, they come to me, right? They come to my inbox in the messages and they say, hey, well, we're going to do marketing, right? We're going to do marketing. They don't really have anything out yet. They're not posting that much. They're not commenting that much. They're sort of just a spectator. And so I think that's a huge mistake. Like, just watching, like, that's what everyone else does, really. And I mean, even down to looking at the people that are within firms, right? They even message me, like, they are employees and they're like, hey, can you please keep this confidential? Of course. I mean, they're like, hey, I'm going to come out on my own, right? What should I do starting out, right? What should I do? If you're asking me, what should you do as an entrepreneur starting out, then I'm actually going to tell you that, A, you either have enough funds, like enough in the savings to quit and see clients already, or you have some clients that you have prepared, or you're going to go work for someone like JMac or JJ the CPA or Jose. Go work for an entrepreneurial CPA, and then, like, you'll be so much better off, because starting a firm is a lot different than starting a marketing firm. Like, the expertise there is just, I think being a CPA and being an accountant is harder than a marketer than being a marketer, right? And so, to answer your question, they should come out day one, right, with marketing material. But if they don't know what to make on the video already and they're not that confident, then they should just go in the comments of JJ the CPA, go in the comments of the content that Justin and Jose are putting out, and then leave long insights, right? Say, hey, JJ, that was good. Here's what I would say about that. Hey, Justin, Jose, here, that was good. That was a good little video. Here's what I learned in my career, right? And then start getting out there like that. And so they should also, I just talked about the CPA industry. They should think about which market they know, like, that they're really going after. And so for some of the younger guys, especially over here, I'm in Silicon Valley, that might be tech, right? The tech companies are starving for someone that knows the numbers, even if it's not for taxes, just to present financials to investors and VCs, whatever. Like, these entrepreneurs that are making millions, they don't know what they're doing all of a sudden. Like, they're making millions and they don't know what to do with this money, right? But the accountants that don't have the money in their bank, they do know what to do with the $1 million to make it pan out so that you don't go out of business, right? So I think anyone coming out should do one of those three things, right? They either already have a client, okay, or they're coming out with marketing material already, right? Or commenting under posts, or they're just strictly putting in the work and joining a different firm, right? Like, that doesn't sound the most attractive to going out on your own, but there's different people, right? And you've got to be who you are, right? So I'm not going to go to, people will hear me talk about Gary Vee a lot, right? He's another marketer. He has 800 people in his marketing firm, right? I could go and work for Gary Vee and learn more, but like, that's just not me. I'm strictly an entrepreneur by myself. In fact, I looked Gary Vee in the eyes and I told him, hey, I'm taking the accounting industry and I have no interest in competing with you. So can you put me in touch with your people, right? So that's like the collaborative part of me. But there's two people. There's people that quit and are ready to, like, you know, someone asked me the other day, someone on the Gold Lake team, in fact, they asked me, hey, Juan, did you think about quitting in your first year? Like, did you think about going back to PricewaterhouseCoopers? I said, absolutely not. When I was about to go out of business almost twice in this past year, I just said, all right, man, we've got to make our sales at the end of this month, the extra 2 or 3 sales, whatever I need to pay the bills, right? And we did it. So those are, awesome. You've really got to figure, I appreciate it. And some EAs and CPAs coming out, they're finding themselves in that exact same situation, right? And so you've just got to figure out kind of who you are, right? I think for me, I am, like, if we think about sports here, I am like a high pressure situation, 3 seconds on the clock, 5 seconds on the clock. What are you going to do, right? So you've just got to go where you win. And if you feel a bit unsure, then I would kind of, you know, I would start making relationships with other CPAs in the space and see how you can help them, right? But if you're like just more entrepreneurial and ready to sell and ready to go into it, then go into it, see what happens. But at the end of the day, you're going to make the relationships with the people that are better than you in the space, right? Gary Vaynerchuk is better than me at marketing. So I'm making the relationship with him, right? Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Well, I just want to real quick. Those of you that don't know, me and JJ met because I straight up was steady creeping in his DMs. JJ, I love the video. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Houston. Hey, I had this. Hey, I had that. We started communicating. Next thing I know, and the podcast. Brought him on the podcast, got to meet him, and we realized, hey, we get along great. We do everything. I mean, that's how I met Will Lopez. That's how I became, Justin. That's how I became friends with Justin. It's getting the podcast. Katie Thomas. That's how I've been able to meet her, and so it's just been an amazing experience. But yeah, that's what it was. It was just me kind of. I was timid. Juan will tell you. We talked about it on his podcast. I was scared. I was scared to death. But I just started getting out there. I took that approach. It's kind of like, okay, I like what he's doing. Let me try to see if I can get him. Again, I started sliding to the DMs. Little by little, wore him down to where he's like, all right, I think I like this guy. And now here we are, doing.
You want us to leave? Do you guys want to go?
Yeah. Slide into them DMs. I love it.
Do I have different lingo over here or something?
I'm with you, Justin.
All right, Garrett, thank you. That it's getting more attractive. I think the accounting industry is going to become more and more important. I guarantee you, Gary Vee would agree. I guarantee you all these big influencers and these big business people would agree, because you know what they probably have? Really, really good accountants.
Yeah, absolutely.
The value of it. So if you guys like all of this stuff, well, it's yours for the taking. Like, just do, if you're going to do it, you have to do social media. Period. End of story. You have to do it.
Yeah.
So think about your avenue now. Think about what you want to do. You don't have to do the podcast. Like, you don't have, but you have to do something. And you have to be somebody, and you're likable already. If you found somebody to marry you, you're probably okay. Like, right? Like, you know, think about it, right? If you've had a girlfriend, like, have you had sex before? Well, then you're probably good, right? So think about that. Like, you know, right? So, you know, if you could do that once, well, you know, like, just go knocking door to door. And I've said this too. This is a great idea. I love this idea. I don't want to do it, but people go door to door selling shit all the time.
Yeah.
If you go up and down your block and you just knock door to door on your tax return, you know, some people drive 45 minutes to go get their tax return done because it's the same guy that they've used. And you might go knock on the door and tell them, hey, I'll do it.
Oh my God.
Less. You're going to do it for less than that. Right? And
my God.
you probably build a tax.
That's exactly the point, because people come to me about talking about H&R Block or TurboTax or whatever new software that comes out. Let's say like this year, 2019, like they just invent the magical software that takes care of everything in accounting, like everything. A couple of dudes out here like in Silicon Valley in a dark room, like they end up beating Xero and QuickBooks, and like in the press of the button, you can have everything done right.
Zero's going to miss out on a huge chance right now because they have all of the brand ambassadors. They really are. And Juan, I'm going to just keep saying the same shit you say, but it's resonating with me because you're right. Here's what's going to happen.
Good job.
Jose, myself, right? Like, if we're not buying in, like we're now, but you got to keep us. Like, this has got to grow together.
Yeah, because
right? Like, if it's not going to work, right?
What I know about
build their own shit.
What I know about Xero is either they're going to have the best software by getting the best software engineers, or the software engineers that are within Xero or any other accounting software, they're just going to get all together and then create the best software, right? So if you work on building a brand as a business person or a CPA, exactly down to the sentence of what JMac was just talking about, they're going to drive 45 minutes across town to have their taxes done by a specific person, right? That's brand, all right? And that is even going to happen when we have the software that takes care of accounting spotlessly, like the best accounting software you could ever imagine. If you have a brand, you will still be safe in doing people's taxes. You will still be safe in advising them on their financials, right? But if you just let yourself, I guess, get picked up by Intuit, get picked up by TurboTax, a CPA on the line, then, I mean, some of that work is fine to do right now if you just need some extra money. But you can't let yourself get trapped there under the umbrella of Intuit and TurboTax and just a CPA on call, because you're letting yourself get commoditized, right? So you can do those jobs right now. I have some clients that are even kind of on the internal of those companies letting me know just how profitable the clients are able to go just by talking to a CPA internally in one of these companies. But if you have a brand, I mean, you'll be able to build your own practice in your city or niche, right?
And I'll tell you this right there, one is that JJ the CPA is a registered trademark, my friend, as of November of last year, man. I mean, it's a registered trademark, because I felt like with what JMac's talking about here, I felt like as I was now going to get on social media and the approach that I was taking, that maybe someone might be interested in using that if they had those same initials, or to overcome it. But here's the thing, you know, when I got on social media, it was to put content out there. It was to just share. It was fun. It was something else to do. I was not trying to bring on clients. I don't really want any more clients. We have a waiting list right now, but I was doing it for exactly what
rich people problems. I don't want any more money.
But you know, the thing is that I think by being genuine, it's easy then for people to take pot shots. But as long as we're putting out good content in the sense that it's helping somebody. I mean, I kind of, to your point, JMac, I shot a video in Vegas last summer, and it was just helping one CPA candidate that made a comment on one of my other YouTube videos and just said, hey, I'm at a crossroads. I don't know if I should stay in this position, but I have to get my CPA. Does it really matter? And this and that. So I just shot like a 2.5-minute video to encourage Derek that, you know, do that. And here's why. And I'm in Vegas, and I'm with clients, and I'm having fun, and look at the lifestyle,
awesome.
et cetera, et cetera. But it was because I had the 3 letters. But then I just had someone last week that watched that, and, you know, maybe it's only had 80 views total, but I've had a few comments. But someone just last week said, gosh, I found this at the right time. This really has helped me. Thank you. And I've done some other videos like that. Hey,
Yeah.
you guys can keep rolling. My entire team showed up about 20
Yeah,
minutes
I was about to say, my daughter's home, so
We
I
gotta-
don't know you guys, but she's a lot more than y'all. So
What?
Of course.
But you know what? To Jack, what you were saying is the 4 of us. That's that collaboration and the way that we can circle this industry and help people. And just to your point, JMac, I mean, I'm doing a lot of what you're saying. Maybe I'm not doing it directly with clients anymore in the sense that are walking into my front door, but in terms of just good information and helping people. And that's what the social media does. But I feel like what we were talking before, you and I, the 3 of us, the 4 of us, we will circle back on this. But to do something like we're doing right here on a regular basis, I think could provide a lot of inspiration or help to people in the industry, whether they're talking about getting in it or becoming a CPA or whatever the case is. So I feel like we've kicked this off in a phenomenal way, and we'll have this on YouTube on our respective channels. And I think we should circle the wagons here soon so that we can do something like this, and then maybe we present it at a specific time every single week, just like a regular TV show would. And then just to your point, JMac, there'll be people at some point that want to binge watch. I know they're going to want to binge watch, you know, JMac.
That's Juan's dream. Like, don't you realize Juan is dying for like all of us to get these, like all of his clients. Like, he's like, I can't wait for like people to just go to a wormhole on all the JJ shit and all of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like look all the way back. Like, oh my God, like this is how it happened. Like, oh
Yeah,
my
this is
God.
back when
He
JJ
was
didn't
really
have a
important to
mic.
me.
He was holding his phone wrong, you know, I mean, all those things. But the thing is that by the time we maybe are really speaking much more to the masses, we'll have this down even that much more. Think of just what you're saying, James.
100%.
So, and then with that, my last comment is Jx4 is what this is, right? Like, now, what is it going to be overall? I think all of us will admit we're really not sure, but this is something that we have.
We had to do it.
It's a starting point. I mean, this is going to be this is the Wikipedia page, right? Like, where did accounting change? Like the Luca Pilio of like, this is it. Like, this is what we're looking to be. Is it going to be successful? I don't know. Like,
Yes, it will.
like, it's going to fucking work. Like, it already is working. It's just a matter of how long it's going to go.
You know what? And as long as we're having fun,
It
I mean,
is.
what the hell? Even
it-
if no one watches, we get
That's the
16
point.
views. We're having a great time. We're helping each other. We're making it fun. This is one of the best
100%.
tax seasons because of you 3 guys.
boxes, baby. I already bought domain names, so don't worry about it. I bought like 6 of them.
Damn you.
I already bought them. The ones I sent you,
99.
and then once we agreed on it, I bought all those.
Oh man, you're the man. You're the man. I love it. You're really going to be the pin. You're going to be the ringmaster of this, the puppet master.
I look forward to it.
All right, well, hey, I love you
I
guys.
can't do it without you guys then. So
That's right.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
guys, hey,
Last words,
enjoy
Jose?
it, and let's do it. Last words is just, man, let's get this done. We did it. Now let's keep going.
Let's get it done. Let's get it done.
Let's go. In the words of Juan, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh,
All
man.
right, guys.
wait.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you ever.
Oh, you're right. Where is it? Come on, JJ.
Don't you ever forget you've never met a CPA quite like JMac.
Boom!
Got him.
There you go.
Guys,
Keep inspiring,
have a good
everybody.
night.
Keep inspiring.
All right, guys.
All right, love you guys. Talk to you
Thanks,
soon.
yeah.
every week.
Every week. Next week, we're going to come together again. We're going to try to make this a weekly show for y'all.
I'll try. We will.
So, because we want to provide the content and everything. So, have a wonderful day, and thanks for tuning in, y'all.
See you guys.